Our next story leads on nicely from the digital games chat we were just having there, and this is over at XDA. And Sony's dynamic pricing on the PlayStation Store is outraging gamers, and rightly so. I totally agree. So this article here, let's just read a little bit of this because this is really good. Well, it seems to have happened. Sony has won the console war once and for all. Their biggest competitor, Microsoft, is now sunsetting the Xbox as a dedicated console, with Project Helix being the swan song, and that too in the form of just a living room PC. Meanwhile, the coast is clear. Sony seems to be making significant moves like pulling back their exclusives from PC, as well as trying out a new experimental form of pricing digital games on the PlayStation Store. And this is where it gets murky. Sony's new dynamic pricing experiment has not gone down well with the player base at all. Many players are outraged at how the online store seems to be rewarding them less for playing and purchasing more games under their new dynamic discount experiment. So what is this pricing experiment on the PlayStation Store? Sony is running an A/B pricing scheme in several regions, and we've got it highlighted here. Instead of every player seeing the exact same price for a game, the PlayStation Store may now show different discounts to different users at the same time. In simple terms, two people browsing the same game could be looking at two completely different prices. Whoa. So it says here, according to an initial report by PS Prices, Sony was testing elastic pricing in both directions. This was based off of what they discovered to be unusual offer structures for 139 different games in the PlayStation API across several regions like Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and more. Notably, the United States wasn't included in these regions running the A/B pricing experiment. Later, PS Prices corrected their statement to better represent their findings. The PlayStation Store was experimenting with elastic discounts, not MSRPs. This isn't regional pricing, that has existed all over the world. Instead, the price differences noted by users on the PlayStation Store have been in the same regions on similar devices with different accounts. Sony's experiment seems to be adjusting discounts based on factors like store activity and past purchasing behaviour. So one player might see a game discounted by 10%, while another might see a bigger percent for the exact same title. The product hasn't changed, but the price the store thinks you're willing to pay has. Why has this rubbed players the wrong way? Well, the backlash to PS Price's findings was almost immediate. At first, players might have misunderstood the problem, thinking Sony was increasing or decreasing prices for games for different users. Well, that was only the discounted prices that was experimenting with. The issue, however, still remains, and it comes down to a simple expectation that console players have always had. A digital game should cost the same for everyone. When you open the PlayStation Store, see a $70 game discounted to $49. The assumption has always been that every other player, at least in your own region, is looking at the same page and seeing the exact same number. Wow. There's also a philosophical problem attached here. Digital games aren't airline seats or rides during rush hour, since they are, by their very nature, infinite, reproducible. Their algorithm-driven price difference feels like a psychological pricing experiment rather than a marketing move. For many players, that crosses a line. I totally get that. This reminds me of, like, when you get an Uber and it's really busy and you see surge pricing, you're paying more because there's less Ubers available. Digital games, by their nature, are infinite. They're not running out. So what is the need for prices adapting like this? And this to me is just another warning bell for the future with, digital games and digital subscriptions. We cannot rely on these people. Please wake up. Buy your games physically whenever you can. It gives you way better options, way better pricing power, because you'll see all the different storefronts, your Amazons, your Best Buys, your local stores, whatever. You'll be able to see who's offering the best price, especially when new games come out. When Resident Evil 9 Requiem was released here in the UK. You could pick it up on Amazon and a whole bunch of other retailers for like £48 pre-ordering it, which is way cheaper than the 70 it was on the PlayStation Store. And then that just saves you a fortune when it's every game doing this. Now, if we get to a future where it's digital only and you can only buy your games from the PlayStation Store, you know things are going to get more expensive. And this is just a little warning for what sort of thing they can be doing with, adapting the price based on a whole bunch of factors that they are tracking about you, which I don't like. I don't think that's a nice future. Let me know what you think about this, because I know this is just dynamic discounting right now, but who knows, in the future it might be even pushing the prices up for things. Nothing's off the table and companies are trying to make money off you. So I don't like this. I don't think it's cool. I think everyone should be treated the same here with this. And yeah, it's a warning bell. People, buy physical.